Welcome to week 17. Our topic today is I'm my own career manager and I'm heady with power. This is a great topic, and it's an especially important topic for today's progressive administrative professional. We have a lot we're going to cover today, as you can see from my notes. So let's start at the top. The first thing is that when you think of a career versus a job, you are more likely to get serious. What's the difference? Job is kind of short term, but a career is something you invest in. A career is something that you see yourself going on or being a part of for many, many years. A career is something that you grow, and you grow in it. You develop. You become better as you blossom through your career. The first step is to know yourself. Have you heard of Maslow's theory, in the hierarchy? I don't know if you've ever studied this, but you can go out onto his website, go out onto the internet to the website, because he's not around anymore. But here's what I printed off from the website, in case you're not familiar with this. And basically what the theory is, or the philosophy is that we all start here at the bottom with certain needs, okay? And once these lower level of needs are met, then a person is moving up to these higher level needs. So for example, the physiological is we all need food, water, sleep, breathing, okay? Then once those needs are met, there's this whole area of safety. We need security of our body, of employment, of resources. So think about that. That makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? A family is also included in here. Once we've achieved that, the next level is love and belonging. We all need friendships. We need family. Once that is met, then we move up to self-esteem needs. That includes confidence, a feeling of achievement, respect of others, and respect by others. And once we've gotten through that, now we're up at the top, which basically has to do with our self-actualization. It's morality, creativity, spontaneity, problem solving, lack of prejudice, and acceptance of facts. Well, what does this have to do with being your career manager? What it has to do with being a career manager, managing your career, and also what I've written in underneath it all, which is a much deeper book than Become an Inner Circle Assistant, yet Inner Circle's outstanding, is that we have to do work that feeds our soul. Once we have food, once we have a roof over our head, once we have friends, once we have family, for most people, we're at a level, we get to a point where we've got to be doing something that feeds our soul. So if you are in this profession just because you want a job, you're probably feeling a lot of stress and anxiety and lack of fulfillment because you're not feeding your soul. Hopefully you love this profession like I did. When I was an administrative assistant, again, 20 years I put into that profession. And you know why? Because I absolutely loved it. Why do you think I'm coaching administrative professionals today? Because I still love the profession. I still believe in this group and the value that they bring to their organizations. Time is precious, and you really have to make a decision as to what you want to do. That ties back to owning your career, managing your career, and doing work that's going to feed you. Up until now, I haven't told any of you about this book and why it's different, the underneath it all. Why this book is different is because I wrote this book while my husband of 32 years was battling pancreatic cancer. In case you're not familiar, this is the 4th deadliest cancer. So it's not a pretty picture when you've been diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. He went through many, many months of chemotherapy in California. He had a major operation. He pulled through all of that, and today he is still continuing to fight this disease, and we will the rest of his life. But the idea is that I was writing this book as he was going through his journey, and I really realized that, you know what, life truly is precious. Time is short. My husband's only in his late 50s. You know, that's not very old, not in today's standards. So what does this mean to you? It means you have to know what you want to do. You have to take ownership of your career. It's not up to anyone else to manage your career. It's not up to your family members or your parents or your spouses or your best friends to tell you what you should be doing. Certainly we can get advice from those individuals and we can bounce ideas off of them. But do you understand, you will not reach self-actualization until you're doing what feeds your soul. And you know what the great news is? When you feed your soul, when you are doing work you love, when you are in a career, a profession that you see as a career, you're going to excel, you're going to shine, you are going to do a great job. And you know what? It's not going to seem like work, it's fun. Now, a couple things that I would like to talk to you about are today in terms of what are your options in terms of being in the administrative profession. Well, first of all, you can stay in your current position and make it more interesting. You can grow your job. Again, a great example is my chief executive assistant, Jasmine Freeman. When she came into this job, it's nothing like it is today. We have grown her job tremendously. And Jasmine loves it. She is learning and developing all kinds of skills that she's never used in other jobs that she's had. So, and I hope she'll stay with me for many, many, many years to come, and we hope that she will continue to blossom. But it's up to you. Let's say, for example, that you really like the department you're in, you like the manager you work for, but the job's feeling a little stagnant. You can do it with your eyes closed, which you shouldn't be doing, by the way, because we've talked about being a cognitive being. But if you are, it's up to you to add interest to that job, make it more interesting, and make it more exciting. Another idea or another option is you can work toward a promotion within your organization. If you work within a large enough organization, you can work toward getting a position or a promotion or moving up in the profession. Now, part of that is you have to be visible to the right people. You need people to see your talents. You need to be involved and be engaged and let people know this is what you want to do. Another idea, possibly you would be happier in another department. I was never one to enjoy working in a financial department or an accounting department. When I was an assistant, I just hated it. And now I know why, because I hate details and I hate numbers. I just don't like it. Now I'll do it when I have to. But why would I force myself to work in a department as an administrative assistant when I really don't like it? Another area you never would have caught me working in was legal. Same thing. But you know what I loved? I loved working in marketing departments. I loved working for the vice president of Coppertone. That was a really fun area to work. Can you imagine working in Coppertone? That was a great job. I loved working for CEOs and presidents and higher up executive because they're visionary people. They like change. They thrive on crisis. That's very much my style. So the idea is you may be saying, no, I don't know about this profession anymore. Maybe I've been doing it for too long. Well, it could be you're just not in the right department. Maybe you need to move to another area and take control of your career. One more, well, maybe for some of you, you are thinking that it's time to move out of the field in a year or 2 years or 3 years. I certainly did it, but again, that was after 20 years. I know a couple assistants who that's what they're thinking about. Maybe 2 or 3 years, they want to move out of the profession. Well, the idea is you have to start to plan that now. You just can't stop in a day. Now, I did that, but not really. I planned for 2 years for moving out and going into something else while I was working my full-time job as an administrative assistant. So you have to have a plan. Again, you have to take ownership of your career. No one else is going to do this for you. All right. What are your activities for this week? First of all, the one that I want to suggest to you is to create a career portfolio. Now, we even have about a 2-hour program that we teach on this, but I'm going to tell you some ideas right now. Think of a career portfolio as your show and tell, and especially the show part, because if you're interviewing for a position, you can tell me how great you are and how technically savvy you are, but it's different when you actually come in with a binder and you show me what you have accomplished and what you can do, and you show me your testimonial letters from your managers or customers that you've worked with. You can show me the different levels of PowerPoint presentations that you are capable of doing. You can show me your certificates and your accomplishments. I am a big promoter of career portfolios. They make a difference. Now, a couple tips very quickly is why would it be beneficial to you, not just for job interviewing, but it shows you are proactive. It demonstrates that you take pride in your accomplishments. It's a permanent record. It shows your creativity. And some of the areas you can use it is during your performance review, while competing for an internal job, when you're asking for additional responsibilities. So there's a whole list of ideas. And then there's a whole list of what you put in your career portfolio. Everything from a professional photo of yourself, thank you notes from customers and clients. As I said, examples of your work, graphic work, spreadsheets, past evaluations, your mission statement, and the list goes on. Now, if you don't have underneath it all, which is okay, you can write us and just put career portfolio information in the subject line. Write us at staff@officedynamics.com. And I have an article that I've written on just the career portfolio. But I can tell you, you will really stand out if you have this as a part of managing your career. Now, for those of you that have underneath it all books, what I'd like you to do is start on page 37. This is an individual activity, and go through the entire chapter. There are a lot of activities, and it'll just walk you through the process. This section is designed more for individual activity, but what I would do if you have a group of peers together, work on the individual activities, and then share some of your ideas with each other so you get different feedback. Last, I want to make a request, okay? My request is that I am trying to help my husband and anyone out there who is battling pancreatic cancer. The survival rate, the percentages are very grim. 5% have a 5-year survival rate. And basically there needs to be more funding for this important cause. And so what I'm asking for is your help and helping people all over fight this horrible disease. How can you help? Is just purchase underneath it all. If you haven't done this yet, we are donating 10% of all proceeds of my book for pancreatic cancer research. So I'm not asking for much. It's $20 a book, or maybe your organization would like to buy multiple copies. I don't normally ask for these kind of requests. It's a little strange, but it actually isn't. Because underneath it all, we all have different battles that we're fighting. So thank you. I want you to own your career. I want you to take charge and just go out there and be the wonderful person that you are destined to be.